Hey everybody, it's me, Josh, Hope Paranormal. And boy, do I have a story to tell you today. Hey everybody. So, for the last few weeks, I've been kind of teasing this story, something that's happened regarding my home. I actually feel more comfortable telling this story not in my home. As you know, for the last 7 years, I have been doing spirit work. I've been communicating with spirit intuitively, psychically, as well as through the box and all these different pieces of equipment. And Nikki was the first to start feeling her ability to pick up spirit. One night, we would do our sessions in the garage, as there's many garage sessions that I have in the playlist, and we would sit there and she would channel or I would work on my psychic ability and try to kind of test each other. And one night I got this vision of a red-haired lady, and Nikki said she had the same vision, that she felt that was her spirit guide named Alma. Okay, fast forward a few years, and throughout the different sessions, I would pick up Alma's name sometimes. Well, about a few weeks ago, my neighbor from across the street that I've only had a few conversations with in the 10 years that I've been living there, rings my doorbell and says, "Hey, Josh," his name is Woody, he's a good guy, and he says, "You have a tile loose on your roof." I asked him about the house. I said, "You've seen the house get built. You've seen the people that were here before. I've looked through the records before, and I guess I didn't go far enough back." But he says, "Yeah, when Alma lived in the house, she lived to about 90 something, and she ended up dying in hospice." My mouth fell open. I was absolutely shocked. I said, "What was that name?" And he said, "Alma." I said, "Did she have red hair?" He said, "Well, she was older, and so I think she was dyeing it, but yes, she had red hair." So that's a major coincidence. That's like a coincidence, I mean, we can't really say it's a coincidence. I was blown away. And as he's getting ready to walk away, he remembers that Alma had a husband. He couldn't remember when he died, but I asked him, I said, "Yeah, what was his name?" And he tells me that his name was Frank. Is this the same Frank that I've been dealing with over all these years? Starting back in 2014 when I picked him up in the sessions, and then in 2015 when reports of him blocking the door and spirits feeling weak because of him. In the last few months, my own spirit guides have expressed a concern that there was grave danger for them while being around him. I'm blown away. There's an Alma and Frank S. that were on the deed of my house. And Alma, a red-haired lady, is believed to be Nikki's guide, or a spirit that sees something in Nikki and comes across as a very kind and caring spirit. And then there's Frank, who also lived in the house and feels like he probably has a right to the house, being on the deed at one point, which would make sense of why it was so difficult at times to get rid of him, and not permanently. That he feels like he's in control of the door. Who else than the homeowner? So now I wanted to do a session. A few days later, after I found this information out from my neighbor, I went in my mail and I found this picture. And to the left is Alma. And there you can see she has red hair. After receiving that picture from my neighbor who left it in my mailbox, I went and sat with an old friend that I talk with every Thursday. I sit, have a cup of coffee with him, and we talk about spiritual things. He's a guy I've known for 20 years. He owns a Napa auto parts store, and he's a great guy. And I tell him about these crazy spiritual journeys and these stories and my findings. And even though he doesn't religiously watch my videos, he really cares about what goes on. And over the years, I've told him about Frank. As I tell him Frank and Alma's last name, he says, there used to be a guy named Frank S. that used to come into my parts store. He was a mechanic, and he was this cranky, grumbly guy, and he had this son. Because I was investigating, I found a picture of Frank's son, who is an older man, and I show Bill, and Bill says, that's him. That's his son. The father used to sit at this bar, and he would drink, and I believe they spread his ashes over the bar. At this point, I really don't know what to make of all of this, other than that it's all tying together. Hello, hello. I heard you. Is Michael here? Turning the box on, I'm only turning it on for just a few minutes, just, 10 or so minutes. I wanted to ask a couple questions. I hear you. Of course, I don't hear it perfectly in real time. Who's here with me tonight? I'm asking for Michael to come through. But who else is here with me tonight? There's a reason that I'm asking. Then ask. Okay, good. So the information has come to my attention that Alma, known as... It's astounding, huh? It is. Alma is Nikki's spirit guide, we always thought. But apparently she's the woman that lived here. And Nikki wants to do a session, which I'm happy about. But to find out that her husband's name was Frank. So the $1 million question is Frank the one that's been here, the one that's been difficult at times, the one that's been hard to get rid of, the one that we don't understand? I haven't understood fully what his Yeah, yes. Is he the one that was married to Alma? Is Alma and Frank the same Alma and Frank that Nikki and I have known here? I'd like to know the truth, because I think that would explain more. I trust in Jesus Christ, and regardless of whether or where my connection is on that day, I know He's always with me. And I also know that it's not always so simple. There are more aspects to this. What can you guys tell me about this situation. Where is Michael? Is Michael okay? Is Michael, my spirit guide, the one that's recognized as a guide, is he okay or is he not here anymore? Is there something that happened to him? I don't feel that there is, but I guess it can't hurt to ask. Is he not able to speak for himself? Is there anything else that you guys would like to say? Who are you? I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more about how Michael's doing and what's going on, Michael. I'm asking you directly, Michael, but I'm also asking the other approved spirits and guides. I'm also letting you know that I'm going to dive into this and dedicate a whole... But I am dedicating a session to this Alma and Frank situation, this whole thing. And I'd like to get to the bottom of it. I'd like to know what it is I can know. I'd like to know the truth. I'd like to know the truth. Alright. Well, I'm going to shut the box down. I'm not going to... And I ask Jesus Christ now to call. I call down the light, ask you, Father, to please provide the light for anyone looking for it, for the ones that need you and want you. Amen. All right, well, I'm going to shut down the box. I didn't hear that. I heard you. I didn't hear what you said. I'm going to shut down the box, and I'm going to ask one question on the DR60. All right. So, Michael, are you here with me right now? Okay. Okay. Okay, Michael, how about now?
hop out now.
All right, I'm closing the session off. So there it is. It reveals a lot of clear, undeniable responses, yet still a lot of unanswered questions. I'm going to do another session. I'm going to do it to address both of them, to talk to both of them. I don't know what exactly my approach is going to be yet. I don't know what is going to come of it. But clearly all this information came out at this time to help solve kind of an ongoing mystery. And it came out for a reason. So we will see. So this is a to be continued video. Please like the video, guys. Subscribe. Check me out on Patreon. I love being able to let you in on what I'm experiencing, which is just beyond amazing. Even when it doesn't feel so great, it's still a lesson to be learned. I love you all. Until next time.